So this is Team A. So today we will talk about the Horizon Report and the ISTE standards. The first part is the standard for educator. The first part I want to talk about the 2017 MNC Technology Outlook Chinese Higher Education. So I can see the key trends of Chinese education and the challenge they meet at present. In this report, it analyzed how Chinese higher education changed. Even though it is not easy, the Chinese educators are trying to find some ways to make a difference. So from the ISTE standards, the first one is set professional learning goals to employ and apply pedagogical approach made possible by technology and reflection on their effectiveness. So in China, they are increasing use of blending learning design, and the keys of blending learning design is training and supporting faculty in integrated digital resource and implementing new process. Also, Chinese education is trying to shift to deep learning approach. You can see the standard for educator. The 5-1 is about designer. So we need to help the student to decide authentic learning activity that and then there's something wrong, and then help them to learn deeper. So additionally, Chinese education emphasized personalizing learning, which refers to the first one. We can see use the technology to create, adapt, and personalized learning experience. So from this way, we can see the Chinese education wanted to help the teacher, help the student to create their personal learning. And what is the personal learning? Is like we need to, as the educator, as a teacher, we need to focus on students' interest and their hobbies, and we can help them to create to make a plan for learning and study. So I think this is so great. So it can help a student to think critically, and then like student is the center of the class. Yeah, that's it. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
We'll go on to the students, the standards for the students. We're focusing on having students become creative communicators and using all of these 4 resources that we see here, in addition to the next slide, which is what the expectations are for the students. And if you go on to the next slide, Yuding, please.
Mm-hmm.
We have, what we're talking about is having that global collaboration. And the Horizon report that I focused on, that you'll see the slides later on. There we are. Going back, it's the library edition, and focusing as a creative communicator. The summary would be: how do you keep libraries have the challenge of acknowledging students and providing information for students as a creative and global communicators, incorporating new devices, promoting independence as well as collaboration, and all of these different challenges that you see here. In summary, more than anything, it's talking about how students are, their needs, their technological needs are advancing, and what does that mean for the future? Not only as, students that collect information, it even includes, kind of political policies and understanding what your freedom is. And libraries are posed as, supporting and being advocates, not only to defend their learners, but also to defend from different attacks, whether that be, you know, malware, or whether that be, you know, challenges as far as accessibility to students that maybe don't have the resources, and just taking that all into consideration when they are developing the informational needs that students are going to have, not now, but also in the future, so that they can kind of put together all of these different challenges that they're going to have to accommodate, so that they can still maintain relevance into the future. You know, libraries have always been an area where you get information from, and that's going to include digital information and what that means for students as being communicators and researchers and everything like that. And then we're going to go on to, Lisa's going to go ahead and continue with our administrators and our instructional coaches.
Yes, and I apologize that I'm not visible right now. I'm having computer issues. So this one's about digital age learning environments, and just kind of the classroom environment that you create when you're incorporating technology. And as I was reading through, the things that kind of stuck out to me, obviously you want to model like the correct behaviors and collaborative learning and all of that, but what stuck out to me was the challenges of creating these environments. Students are so used to using technology as a toy instead of as a tool that my biggest issue in incorporating technology is classroom management and keeping them off of playing games and keeping them from taking selfies in class or going to YouTube and watching videos, and just kind of trying to change their mindset from what they've learned. Because I mean, we give 2- and 3-year-olds our cell phones to play apps and play games, and so they've been doing this since they were children, and so now we're trying to kind of shift their focus to using technology as a tool and as a resource. And it's a big adjustment for them. And so that's kind of been my hardest struggle in my class as a coach, is shifting their mindset so that they see all the tools and resources that they can use to advance their learning. Mm-hmm. And then if you'll go to the next slide. We can go to the next one after that too, sorry. So, and then the other thing that I want to talk about was like the challenges for the students in that case, because the Horizon report talked about wanting fluency in the digital realm and how it's not just understanding the basics of how to use technology, but then I started thinking that we got rid of like typing classes and we got rid of like computer science requirements. And so my students don't even know how to change the font and formatting when they're writing an essay on the computer. They don't know how to like highlight with their cursor, or how to like use Excel or Word documents or share these things. And so I'm having to teach them just basic typing skills and basic skills like that in order to even be able to use technology like in a proper way. And then the Horizon report's talking about it needs to be more than just that. And so I found that kind of interesting, because they're so used to using their phone, and we think that they have technology all the time, that they should be pretty technologically savvy, but they're really not learning how to use it in like an academic sort of way. They know how to use apps, but they don't know how to type or do anything with the software or troubleshooting. And so the teachers really have to be on their A game, and they have to know how to use all these different devices and troubleshoot them for the students, and how to walk them through how to use all this stuff. And so that's kind of just what I was thinking about is, and it talks about troubleshooting and software. And like, for example, in my classroom, we got new tablets this year I'd never seen before, and the kids are asking me questions about troubleshooting, and I've never touched them. And so I'm trying to learn it along with them. So just some of the challenges in implementing these awesome ideas that the Horizon reports mention.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's it.
Okay. That's right.
All right.